Hello students, today I am going to deliver a lecture on Introduction to the Time Series Analysis. It is a brief introduction of time series analysis designed for the BSc 6th semester Statistics major students under Dibrugarh University. So what is time series? A set of ordered observations of a quantitative variable taken at successive points in time is known as time series. In other words, arrangement of statistical data in chronological order, that is, in accordance with occurrence of time, is called as time series. Time in terms of years, month, days, or hours is simply a device that enables one to relate all phenomena to a set of common and stable reference points. For example, the data on the population of a country over equidistant time points constitute a time series. For example, the population of India recorded at 10 yearly censuses. Some other examples of time series are annual production of a crop, the wholesale price index number over a number of months, the turnover of a farm over a number of months, and so on. The objective of analysis of a time series are to give a general description of the past behavior of the series, to analyze the past behavior, and to attempt to forecast the future behavior of on the basis of the past behavior. However, great caution is needed to do this. The analysis of time series is of interest in several areas, such as economics, commerce, business, sociology, geography, meteorology, demography, public health, biology, and so on. The techniques of time series analysis have largely been developed by economists. Empirical investigation dealing with economic theory are largely dependent on time series analysis. Social scientists in general do not have the privilege to conducting studies through laboratory experimentation. Studies are therefore based on time series data collected over time in such a case. For example, trade cycles are important to economists and others in business and commerce. The exact behavior of the cycles and their causes are of interest to them. Analysis of time series provides an important tool for testing the theories and the explanations. Consumer behavior is studied mainly with the help of time series data. Mathematically, a time series is defined by the functional relationship yt is equal to ft, where yt is the value of the variable considered at time t. Thus, if the values of the variable at times t1, t2, tn are y1, y2, yn respectively, then the series can be expressed as t is t1, t2, t3, tn, and their respective y values are y1, y2, y3, yn, and which constitute a time series. Thus, a time series invariably gives a bivariate distribution, one of the two variables being time t and the other being the value yt of the phenomena at different points of time. The value of t may be given yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, or even hourly, usually but not always at equal intervals of time. So, if the data are segregated by time, days, month, years, etc., the values of the variables under consideration changes from time to time. These fluctuations are affected not by a single force but are due to the net effect of multiplicity of forces, pulling it up and down, and if those forces were in a state of equilibrium, the series would remain constant. For example, the retail prices of a particular commodity are influenced by number of factors, namely the crop yield, which further depends on weather conditions, irrigation, fertilizer used, transportation facilities, consumer demand, and so on. So there are different type components of time series are there. The various forces at work affecting the values of a variable in a time series can be classified into 4 categories, commonly known as the component of a time series. Some or all of which are present in a given time series in varying degrees. They are secular trend or long-term movements, periodic changes or short-term fluctuations. Again, periodic changes are classified into 2 categories, seasonal variations and cyclical variations. And the final component is the random or irregular movements. So the value of a time series yt at any time t is regarded as the resultant of the combined impact of above components. Now, what is secular trend or long-term movements? By secular trend or simply trend, we mean the general tendency of the data to increase or decrease during a long period of time. For example, an upward tendency would be seen in data pertaining to population, agricultural production, currency in circulation, etc., while a downward tendency will be noticed in data of birth and deaths, epidemics, etc. As a result of advancement in medical sciences, better medical facilities, literacy, and higher standard of living. The trend is a general, smooth, long-term, average tendency. It is not necessary that the increase or decrease should be in the same direction throughout the given period. It may be possible that different tendencies of increase, decrease, or stability are observed in different sections of time. However, the overall tendency may be upward, downward, or stable. Such tendencies are the result of the forces which are of more or less constant for long time, such as the changes in the population, taste, habit, etc. The second component is periodic changes or short-term fluctuations. Sometimes a movement occurs with some degree of regularity within a definite period. Many social and economic phenomena. Apart from growth factor in a time series, there are forces at work which prevent the smooth flow of the series in a particular direction and tend to repeat themselves over a period of time. So the resultant effect of such forces may be classified as seasonal variation and cyclical variation. And what is seasonal variation? These variations in a time series are due to the recurring forces which operate in a regular and periodic manner over a span of less than 1 year. That is, during a period of 12 months and have the same or almost same pattern year after year. So thus, seasonal variation in a time series will be there if the data are recorded quarterly, that is, in every 3 months, monthly, weekly, daily, hourly, and so on. Seasonal variation may be attributed to the following 2 reasons. The first one is resulting from natural forces. The various seasons or weather conditions and climatic changes play an important role in seasonal movements. For example, the sale of umbrellas pick up very fast in rainy season. The demands for electric fans goes up in summer season, etc. All being affected by natural forces, namely weather seasons. Similarly, the prices of agricultural commodities always go down at the time of harvest and then pick up gradually. The second cause is the resulting from man-made conventions. These variations in a time series within a period of 12 months are due to habits, fashions, customs, and conventions of the people in the society. For example, the sale of jewelry and ornaments goes up in marriages, sales in a cloth stores go up considerably in festival time, etc. Such variations operate in a regular spasmodic manner and recur year after year. The main objective of the measurement of the seasonal variation is to isolate them from the trend and study their effects. A study of the seasonal pattern is extremely useful to businessmen, producers, sales managers, etc. in planning future operations regarding purchase, production, inventory control, personal requirements, selling, and advertising programs. The next component is the cyclical variation. The oscillatory movements in a time series with period of oscillation more than 1 year are termed as cyclical fluctuations. One complete period is called a cycle. The cyclical movements in a time series are generally attributed to the so-called business cycle. This may be also referred to as the four-phase cycle. It is composed of period of boom, recession, depression, and recovery, and normally lasts from 7 to 11 years. The upswings and downswings in business depends upon the cumulative nature of the economic forces and the interaction between them. The last component of the time series is random or irregular movement. In almost all the time series, another factor present is called the random or irregular or residual fluctuations, which is not accounted for by secular trend and seasonal and cyclical variations. These fluctuations are purely random, erratic, unforeseen, and unpredictable, and are due to the numerous non-recurring and irregular circumstances which are beyond the control of human hand. But these type of fluctuations are part of our system, such as earthquakes, wars, flood, epidemic, famines, revolutions, etc. These irregular but powerful fluctuations are also called episodic fluctuations. In some cases, the importance of irregular fluctuations may not be significant, while in others, these may be very effective and might give rise to cyclical movements. So, dear students, I conclude today's lecture here.